Hello and welcome to Paranormal Path Peeps, and tonight we have Karin Beasant. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
You were so good at the parameet. It was so great to see you. It really was.
I know I was feeling so ill that weekend. Oh my God.
I know you were, but it's just so lovely to see you. It really was.
Oh,
Hi,
bless you.
Carl. Hi, Lisa as well. Lisa as well. You know, it's just so lovely to see everybody.
Do
And
you know what? When I went to the first one last year, I didn't know what to expect, same as with Kev. And I couldn't get over how friendly everyone was, even though we're all different in our beliefs, and how nice the weekend was. And you had some really fantastic conversations, debates. No one fell out. What a
no,
lovely difference. I cannot praise Neil enough for, doing this sort of thing. And I'm so looking forward to the Midlands one because I'll be staying all weekend as well.
yay! Awesome. I will as well, even though it's kind of quite near to me. I will actually be staying the whole weekend, so I'll be there the Friday night. And yeah, I am just, well, I should be able to go, I've had a bit of a dodgy day, really, because my dog's not been that well. But yeah,
Mm.
hopefully things are sorted now. I had to have an operation this morning, so
Oh,
it's nice to be able to chat to you as well. There's times in your life when you do have like bad days, bad weeks, bad months, and you've just got to keep fighting, haven't you? And just to speak to a smiley, happy face, it's just lovely, isn't it?
it's
Hey,
like,
when
I was with Laurie and Lisa yesterday and today. And, I'm so proud, and I know she's listening, but I'm going to say it because I don't do soppy normally. I am so proud of Lisa Holman, um, that she was diagnosed over a year ago with stage 4 breast cancer. She had really harsh treatment. It affected her. She's beat it. And oh, look at the poor dog. And she's come back to the paranormal. Yeah, her mobility is, you know, getting better very slowly. But I'm so proud of her determination. And, when you wake up with a dodgy knee or it takes half an hour to straighten your back, what have we got to complain about when someone has gone through, the greatest fight of life, and that is to survive?
that's right, yeah. And there's so many people sort of going on about trivial things, but what she has done is incredible, isn't it?
Oh, she's the
It's really
brains. She's the brains. I don't have the brains. She's the brains.
yeah, bless you. No, you are. You're incredible. There you go. I can't imagine Karen being soppy. So there you go. This
No,
is a
I
first.
don't do it. I don't do it.
Yeah, but yeah, and yeah, everybody, everyone's got their own battles. But yeah, what Lisa's done is absolutely
Mm.
amazing. It really is, and it's great to meet her at the Parameet.
I know
So
she'll be coming.
yeah,
Yeah, she's coming
she's
to the Midlands one, and we're booking some spa treatments as well. We're going to treat ourselves.
yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I've just been hit by a massive vet's bill today, so I don't I don't think I'm spending too much there, but yeah, as in a ridiculous one. Ah,
Yeah.
bless you. Hi, and welcome. But yeah, it was once again, it's lovely, lovely speakers are going to be on, just as the last
All,
one. And
all yeah, all of the speakers were absolutely in their own way amazing. And it was so fascinating to see the different talks, the subjects and how people deliver a speech, because anyone who does that, I think they're fantastic.
yeah, that's it. And yeah, it was so varied, wasn't it? Admittedly, I couldn't watch a lot of speakers because I was sort of helping Neil out. So,
Mm.
but the ones I did see, they were brilliant. But I sort of know the people. I've heard the people. I've spoken to the people who were speakers mainly anyway.
Mm.
And yeah, it is so wonderful, isn't it? So you've been so busy since the Parameet, not so
Oh my
long
god,
ago.
yes.
You,
I
you have been
know.
so busy in the paranormal world, and obviously, well, you do Jamaica Inn. So if you want to tell people about the Jamaica Inn side of things and what you sort of do at the moment, and then
Mm.
potentially what's coming up, because it's a
So,
great.
yeah, like I say, I still pinch myself. I cannot believe, in the last few years how life and these golden opportunities have arisen. I just mean, we think next week I'm 59. I wish it happened 30 years ago when I still had a neck and I could run down the road without my body taking 10 seconds to catch up with me.
Oh
But hey
gosh,
ho, we've got to work with what we're with.
but
But
that's right, isn't it?
yeah, so yeah, was it February 9 years ago? I was invited down by a lady called Amanda, who was forming the Jamaica Inn's own paranormal team. The owner at the time was a man called Alan Jackson. So I went down and uh, I absolutely, well, I mean, I fell in love with the place 17 years before, but
Wow,
to
yeah.
suddenly be part of it, and the only way I can describe, you come across venues, as we've all done, and they take a piece of your heart. And then there's something magical about it. And, all this time later, I discovered my love of history, research, and to slowly see this hidden history come out, to work with such an amazing team that we have now. So there's Lisa, Gemma Treadwin, Rachel from Launceston, and myself and Lisa's amazing boss, Craig Williams, who not only is an amazing chartered accountant, but a really nice man. And working with him is it's taught you about giving back, which I'll come back to in a second. So the Jamaica Inn being a bucket list, lucky enough, it attracts the media, the TV shows, and suddenly you're standing next to Freddie Flintoff, and you've been told to scare the bejeebers out of him. You have Discovery Plus down, you have like Paranormal Captured, you have German TV, and there's been quite a bit, over the years. I've got another German TV channel coming down in the summer, who's filming there as well. My mother, as usual, being German, is disgusted that I'm not fluent in German and I'm not going to speak German. So, that's with that. And then suddenly I found myself, I formed my own team about 12 years ago. And then I suddenly became part of what they call radio contributor for BBC Bristol. And it started off, once a month, you go into the studio and you talk about where you're from. So I'm from Hartcliffe. So Hartcliffe in Bristol is famous for the riots in the 1980s. So as I say, I speak Hartcliffian, which I wouldn't say on here, but it's a language all of its own with lots of swear words. And to find yourself on a breakfast show and you're only on for 5 or 10 minutes talking about what's happening, in Hartcliffe. Oh, there's going to be a great litter pickup this Saturday. But it also taught you to love where you live. And I've been doing that for over 6 years, but they're also very nice. I've had my mother in the studio on her 90th birthday, embarrassing me by saying to the breakfast presenter, "I don't know why I'm here. She just brought me in the car." It's like,
That's incredible.
um, and you also get called, so they'll ring you. They did it again last Friday. They'll ring you and say, we're talking about this. Can you, you pretend to come on the, on the show on the telephone. Um, but what is the nicest thing about BBC Radio Bristol is accents are popular. They want you to talk with your accent. You know, how times have changed, whether if you talk
Definitely.
any accent, you were considered dumb or thick. Now it's trendy. And then recently we got the actor Joe Sims on as our breakfast presenter, who's more Bristolian than me. And we're there on a Monday morning talking about stream jumping and going home and telling our mum we got a booter in our daps, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I said I've reverted back to a strong Bristol accent, which I try so hard to get rid of. You know,
Oh,
but this is all thanks to the paranormal. You know, so someone who's an old dear is doing these wonderful things. And then a few years ago, I was contacted by a BAFTA award-winning producer called Guy Gilbert, and he said I wanted to do a paranormal documentary. So I said, "Yeah." I said, "But I don't want it TV entertainment." You know what I mean? I want it real. And so he said, "Yeah." So I became his assistant producer, you know, to this amazing director. So I went and got the locations, the investigators. We had loads, but it was cut down to just a few. So I got Richard Felix on and everything, and we went up to Chillingham. That didn't make the cut, unfortunately. Um, but it was fascinating. And now I'm involved with a new pilot show called Somerset Supernatural with one of our clients. And then the actual producer, and it's like, oh my God, you know, a proper producer. And if it gets commissioned, you know, there's going to be a whole series. So I have to get the locations, the people. And it has to fit the narrative of what we're trying to achieve. And 22nd of May, we've got a big press state with all the media showing the pilot because I haven't seen it myself. Um, and you know, you can't believe this bubble that you're in. But my biggest love, as I said to you before, and we were discussing it, is the heritage work.
yeah, it's amazing. You are involved with a lot of heritage places, and you're sort of looking at more as well, aren't you?
Oh God, yeah. So I have so many hats, and I wonder why I never catch up on my housework, and I can't help it. But I, a lot of our friends call me Great Aunt Maud because it's the German in me. Whether you need the help or not, I'll help you, or I'll interfere for your good. You know, so I know someone who work well with someone. Oh, I'll ring this TV company because I know someone who's if they're looking would be good for this. So you're constantly interfering like a great granny, you know, type of thing. Um, and Visit Somerset, I'm their paranormal consultant for 800, I think it's 800 venues. So out
Wow.
of that, there are a great percentage that are haunted, you know, famous like Shepton Mallet Prison,
Oh
Wookey
yeah.
Hall, but also the hidden ones. And that's how I met Candy, who owns the old Vicarage Hotel in Bridgewater, who
Yeah.
is an absolute darling. And myself and Lisa, she asked us to, you know, look after the paranormal side. And that place goes back to it's technically 14th century, but the foundations go back to the 12th century, and it's the second oldest building in Bridgewater. So just imagine the Civil War, and it was originally 5 houses, and the cannons of Cromwell's army were going over the rooftops of the old vicarage to attack the castle, which eventually,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
they won. And then you've got the Duke of Monmouth. So when you had King James's army on Sedgemoor, the Duke of Monmouth actually climbed the steeple of St Mary's opposite to view them. Of course, we know what happened to him. He lost the battle. He went on the run, got caught, and lost his head in the Tower of London. So you're surrounded, as we say, Somerset is surrounded by such a rich haunted history of its
Yeah.
own.
It's a
But
stunning place as well.
oh,
We've had Glastonbury, and you've got the whole
yeah.
area. It's just so beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, so with that as well, we might be organising something special in Glastonbury next year. We're just
Oh,
tying
lovely.
down a date. Um, and oh my God, there's these places that we've been to, for this documentary. Hidden gems, I call them. Hidden
Yeah.
gems. There's so much in the pipeline. I can't say much more, but wow. Absolutely wow.
That's
And
fantastic.
then
You work hard at this.
oh God,
This is your forte, isn't it?
very hard. I mean, like I said, I have a proper job.
Yeah.
But I spend my life in front of the computer half the time. But again, with help from we all help each other. So our other thing, myself, Lisa, and the amazing Lorianne, because I always call her Laura.
She's incredible. She really is.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. She's got that partnership going, hasn't she, with the in
She
company?
So the three of us, are the paranormal consultants for the Coaching In group.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there's 36 hotels, at least 22 have reported hauntings. So we've launched the Talbot in Andal.
Yeah.
Amazing place. But again, it's all about honesty, integrity, protect the history, protect the brand. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that Lisa's amazing. She's a business head.
Oh,
So a typical weekend. So Saturday night, I had a private investigation of Woodchester. I had just under 3 hours sleep when I got home. Got up because I live in Bristol, drove to Trowbridge and then up to the Midlands. Went to the Talbot for lunch to see Josh, who looks after the paranormal booking, to check everything's okay because we're very hands on.
yeah.
And then we drove to our other location, a brand new one. We stayed there. We did a little mini investigation. Again, quite skeptical. I'd spent 3 nights going through some amazing newspaper archives, and there's one, and I love naughty history. And
Yes.
in the high street of this building, about 1878, a man was fined 5 shillings for exposing himself. So you can imagine him in his long waistcoat opening up and flashing his little doodah. And you think, well, it's nice that it carries on to this day as well.
Yeah. It's things like that getting recorded, isn't it? Like something he
Oh,
done is like it's been around for years now. The fact, that it's still there, it's
yes.
still written about, and yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
But it is. And, I've been it's got to be between 7 and 8 years with the Warmley Clock Tower, just outside Bristol, as their paranormal advisor. And this, this is what I think the paranormal community should pat themselves on the back. I know there's the good side and the bad side, and we've all been through it. But when you think there's a charity location, it was founded by a Quaker called William Champion around 1743. And one building is called the Clock Tower, and it's a charity community hub. So the local community can hire the rooms. It's about £15 to £12 an hour. Very, very cheap for the local community. And when we introduced paranormal hire, their bank balance was very low. They couldn't afford major repairs or anything like that. Now, not a problem. In a
That's
space of
excellent.
3-4 years, and it doesn't interfere. What a lot of museums, etc., don't realize is during the week, you do your normal business, not a problem. You just need someone on the Friday or the Saturday. And at the Clock Tower, there's an amazing man called Phil, who's a trainer. He does a lot training the local lads, or girls, troubled youth, that sort of thing. And
Oh,
he is passionate about the building as well. He's had quite a few paranormal experiences. But, it's a lovely piece of history, and if we didn't support it, we would lose it.
that's
And
right.
that's
Yeah.
where the paranormal community can do so good. But we have a moral responsibility to be truthful about the history, to be truthful about the paranormal reports. Again, it's down to individual beliefs, what you
Yeah.
think may or may not haunt it. But, you know, you can't. The thing, I know it's a bit controversial, but to claim a place is there's an evil entity or a demon. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
no.
no. You might, if you want to say it privately, fine, but don't label a building with something like that that you can't prove in that respect. Um,
It's absolutely shocking because people are using that to sell ghost hunts or to
yes,
sell their team, or they get the YouTube on there and promote it, and
yeah,
it's ridiculous,
it's
isn't it? Really
we
is.
we we get a lot of requests from YouTubers at the Jamaica Inn, and we are very fussy because we are very strict about how they advertise it.
Definitely.
Rules of what can or cannot be discussed. And recently, it was a year ago, we had a Miss Crypt come down from Australia, and they
Mm.
had genuine experiences. And there's no need to make it something that it's not. The Jamaica Inn, if it likes you, you're going to get something. If it doesn't
Mhm.
like you, you'll get nothing. And the reality is, I've slept there hundreds of times in even in room 5, I've had the walking round the door, and the next time I've stayed there, I've had nothing.
Yeah.
It's probably they see me naked and they run out, as I always say.
But yeah, it does seem an incredible place, and it's great to go places like I particularly like Matlock Pavilion, and that was bought by the local townspeople for £1, and
Wow.
it's run by the townspeople
Mm,
and everything, and that they're revamping it, sorting it all out, new floor, the roof and everything. And
mm,
it's incredible. Like, I don't know how long I've been going there, maybe 6 to 8 years, and it's amazing what they've done for it. And
mm,
paranormal, we do go and hire it. I've been hiring it. I think this is my third, fourth year of actually hiring it
mm.
myself. And we go, experienced people, and we just go and see what we can get.
Yeah.
And we always have an experience, and we're always respectful. And it's just a fabulous place, and we are putting money into there, aren't we? And as long as
Exactly.
the paranormal companies and the people who book it need to go along, and they need to do things properly about advertising, and paying the locations as well, because far too many weren't paying locations. Like historically, I think you sort of mentioned something as well, but
Yeah, like you say, we have to be honest. Are amazing event companies out there, and there are event companies that cater for different types of a paranormal experience,
yeah,
which is absolutely fantastic. Um, but we all have a moral obligation on behavior. Um, as we said, leaving the places you found it. The
definitely.
Warming Clock Tower, they've only had to ban a team once, and that was because they left all the lights on, they didn't put the tables back, and that is very disrespectful behavior. But a
That's
lot
right.
of it is down to how you were brought up. I mean, I joke at my 96-year-old German mother, I'm still scared of her. I won't drop a piece of litter. I just see her face somewhere because she haunts me alive.
Oh, bless you. I love your stories about your mum, though. It's brilliant. It's incredible.
I know
But yeah,
she rang me today and she said, "Kevin, I need you to go to the doctors. My legs are red." I said, "Your prescription's in, Mum. I'll pick it up tomorrow."
bless you. Yeah, so you've got all this going on. You've got your day job, and then you've got your mum as well.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And a
So,
husband and a son, it's like if you're away for the weekend, which I am a lot, they can't cope because mummy has to go shopping before I go away. Mummy
oh
has to
yeah,
make
make sure
sure
you've
there's
got
enough
things.
food. Uh, But
Oh,
like a lot
brilliant.
of mums that do the paranormal, we work so hard, and it's not just that,
Mhm.
it's the writing, you know, oh, it's never ending, but my God, what a buzz. It's when you turn up to, say, a castle that you've hired and you look at it and you think,
Wow.
wow. I mean, I've hired a privately owned castle for November, for 16 of us to sleep in for the night. Is quite expensive, but how amazing,
Awesome,
you
yeah.
know? These members of the public that do the public and us do the private, we go to places we probably would never visited or understand the history or the background of a village or a town that you were in. And,
Yeah,
how more exciting than sat down watching telly day in, day out?
that's right. Like I met like-minded people. I'd booked the Robin Hood experience. There was just 5 of us, and
Mm,
we didn't get a lot. Dave, I thought, was there, but Martin, and we had a massive laugh. And
yeah,
that's what it's about, isn't it? We're respectful. We're giving some money, obviously, to the
yeah,
location. Um, Everything was turned off. Well, we put one light on, and that was it.
mm.
And it was weird though because I think something was happening with the lock on the door. Um,
Oh,
I couldn't get in the door.
yeah.
I just could not, and it's happened before where it was on a live feed and we couldn't get in the door, but we couldn't get in the door at all.
Wow.
And I was there last week, and sort of everyone we got in, got out, and people going for cigarettes and locking up and everything. They did it all last week. Well, the weekend before, and this last weekend, tried to get in, couldn't get in, and then they went out. They had a vape and everything. Came back,
Yeah.
locked and everything. Come to finish the night, couldn't lock it again, and it's
Wow.
like. So we even tried locking it inside to sort it, but even that
Mm.
wouldn't work. It wasn't as if it's just the outside lock, the outside bit. So then I asked out loud, "Hello, would you would you please let us lock the door and go?" And yeah, I went in and it moved quite well. Locked the
Oh my
door and
God, that's amazing.
yeah, so I need to sort of check with I meant to message the location because I know, like, well, years ago I did a live which went on to Paranormal Warehouse at the time.
Yeah.
And then we did that, and we did have an issue with the key in the door. But like I've had it a few times since then, and it's been
Wow.
absolutely okay. So
Mm.
I really don't know. And yeah,
But I mean,
weird, isn't it?
also as well, you're doing things for heritage. So I think
That's right.
you keep it quiet. You should tell everyone what you're
Well, yeah,
planning.
I'm in discussions at the moment, so we'll see what happens. And yeah, um, I've got ideas. I've mentioned I should have gone to a meeting tonight. I had to cancel because
Mm.
of my dog having an operation today. Which, if you hear any background sounds, it's because he's snoring, and
Oh,
he's actually there because you can see his little collar.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, well, not little collar, it's big collar. So he's actually got his head on my knee and he's been snoring a bit. So
Oh,
yeah, he's
bless
still
him.
suffering from his anaesthetic, so he's just coming around from that. But
Yeah.
like, today, like I dropped him off in Leicester. I don't know Leicester. I'm stranded,
Mm.
so I sort of thought, well, where can I go? And I found a park, Victoria Park. And
Mm.
I've had a look. I've had a look at a bit of history. I've got some photos. I'm going to do a history right up. It's also near De Montfort Hall, and I didn't realise that's where De Montfort Hall was. I've always heard of it, but I didn't
Yeah.
know it was there. And I know what it looks like now. So I've got some photos of that. Some of Victoria Park. and they did
Yeah.
horse racing there as well. They had Leicester races there. And
Wow.
then, it's got like war memorials, and it
Mm.
mentions things about that and what happened in the war at that location, and everywhere has so much history.
But
And
that's it. You step out on your doorstep, and
yeah,
also we're part of history. You know,
that's right.
when we have the guests come down to the Jamaican Inn, or we're doing some for Pengena Manor, as I say to them, you might have an experience that we don't tell you everything because we don't like to prime, but
No, you
you
don't.
might say, "Well, I had this experience and I've had it reported, say, 4 or 5 times for." I said, "You've just left your own footprint in history at this location because what you've experienced tallies with others. It gives us something solid to say, well, this must be something that carries on. Um, and it's part of the paranormal reports now."
Wow,
So
yeah,
we're all as important as each other,
that's
regardless
right.
of background or education. And that to me is the most wonderful part of it. It's when we're gone, because of the internet now, there will be a legacy. It could be a small paragraph, it could be a magazine, or like you say, when your book comes out,
Yeah, that's
but
it.
that leaves you your own history trail. How fascinating is all that?
It is. Yeah, it really is. But the thing is about paranormal, anyone can join in,
Mm,
and as long as you respect it and respect the people in the community,
yes,
it's just a great place to be, isn't it? And there are people
exactly.
who do, there are people who do different things to go down the entertainment route. Fair enough, let them do it.
Yeah,
You've got what you do, you sort of stick around with like minded people.
yeah,
And that's what it's about, isn't it? Just find your tribe.
yeah.
Find who is, you can have differences as well. Like we earlier had a discussion about teens and the paranormal.
Yes,
And
yes.
I know you're not for it, and
No,
because
no, not at all. But
your
I'm
reasons,
not the people to do it. I'm not against them at all. I'm against at the moment that there's not a standardized government-backed way that it can be held, but also as well with safeguarding, etc. There's so many issues. So for me,
yeah,
I don't allow it on anything that I'm involved with. Um, Whether that will change will be down to the future. We don't know. Um, but for my own safety, I don't want to have a child doing the paranormal with me, or anyone under 30 is a child to me now because I'm so old. But it's not my cup of tea, but I'm not
yeah,
going to fall out with people that do it. Um, as long as we can debate and talk about it in adult fashion, that's how it should be,
yeah. That's
and
it.
and
Because
that's the wonderful thing.
I've actually helped out on some of these events, and
Mm,
it's really great because the teens arrive and they're with the families, with the parents or something like that. So it's all like open. It's not
mm,
like the children are going down a wood and getting the letters out and doing a little board and messing about, or
mm,
like how many people sort of as a child would write the letters down and do their own board,
mm,
or do their own calling out or do something together.
yeah,
But here, we sort of, we go through things,
mm,
and if they want to use something, they can. And if it is getting heavy, we'll close it down. But
mm,
it's very rare that we have activity. Of course, we do.
mm,
And but at the end of the night, all these the teens, they're that quiet and they don't call out or anything.
mm,
By the end of the night, they're sort of talking the calling out, and also they're mentioning like experience they've had, and
mm,
some of them are mediumistic as well.
yeah,
So they've been brought up seeing spirit in the houses,
mm,
so it's a chance for them to get some answers and to understand more about it.
mm,
And it's that sort of thing, and to understand more about controlling it, because they're free to ask questions.
Mm.
And, it's like an education thing. And like there's one family who came out, I think they've got 2 teens with them. And they said it's the most time they've spent together as a family for ages, because the
Yeah.
teens are usually on the Xbox or something like that, on the phones. So they had quality time away from their phones, doing something as a family and creating memories. And you've got
That's good.
that,
Yeah.
haven't you? So, there are so many angles on everything. And in the same way, like paranormal equipment, like
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
just been called out because I've got these lights flashing on demand. Well, a lot of people in paranormal, they go around asking whoever to interact with something. And
Mm.
what else do you do? Like, yeah, okay. So, you've got like whatever, somebody from 1600s or whatever. We don't actually know what they can see. But
Mm.
asking them to say, apologizing, but say, can you go up to this and interact with it and make it flash or something? And I always apologize, going, yeah, I know it's beneath you, but we can't see you.
Mm.
And, it'd be nice if we know that someone is here talking to us,
Yeah.
but to
Yeah. Yeah.
interact with us, isn't it? It is fascinating. And I've just bought these from the Parameet. So
Yeah.
Andy Guy, he's made these items which are like based on like scientific.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. I know him. Yeah.
yeah, so there's something I've got about temperature. So
Mm.
temperature changing gradually, nothing happens. If it goes cold quickly, it goes
Mm.
blue. If it gets hot quickly, it goes red.
Mm.
So this was getting cold just like that on demand.
Mm.
And how does it, how does that happen? So
But
we're
it's
asking,
it's like when you know
naturally it can't happen, can it? You know what I mean? Like no
I
doors are
mean,
open, no windows.
again,
It's
there's
weird,
logic. I think it's always good to look for logical
which
answers.
I do.
But
I always
I
do.
always say to any newbies that come in, same as myself, no one can tell you what to believe because you'll find your own way. But look at the
That's right.
spiritual, look at the science. If you understand the spiritual and understand the science, at least you're grounded in being rational. But oh, one of the dogs is howling. I just heard him. Um, but you also are sensible. I do miss
Yeah,
the early days where you first started to go out and you were terrified and everything was a ghost, every sound,
yeah.
and I do
Yours
miss that
everywhere.
be
The
because
photo walls.
now something happens, you go, "Oh, yeah, that's interesting."
Yeah,
It's so, like, calm, but it's it's still exciting, and, if I have a night that nothing happens, it's it's fine because we get it,
that's
and
right. Yeah,
if something happened all the time, I would have to question what I think is paranormal, you know? But
yeah.
last night, this location where we were at, Lisa was sat there and she said, "Something's playing with my hair." And I said, "God, has he seen what you look like?"
What you like.
But she said, "I can feel it." She said, "And I've got this." She said, "There's nothing behind me, but it's like a really cold draft behind my neck."
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that's her personal experience, and that's
That's right.
amazing.
And
She
you
can't
can't
prove
you
any
can't
of
take
it.
it away, can you?
No, but I had a weird one. We're walking. I mean, this building that we were at was, oh, it's heaven and big and old. And we're on the top, we're on the first floor, and there's like two long restaurant areas. And then we get to a fire door. So it's a heavy fire door. And you pull out towards you, and I can see it wasn't shut properly, so it was open about 2 inches. So I'm literally about to put my hand onto it to open up. My hand's about a foot away, and it just slammed dead. So I thought, oh, it's got to be air pressure. It's got to be air pressure. Of course, it's not paranormal. So
Yeah.
then you go open it down. You look down. You think, well, hang on a sec. That's all open. There's a staircase. So it would have to been a massive suction of air to bring it to shut. So went through trying to test it, recreate it, couldn't. I can't say it's paranormal, but what I can say was even I was like, okay, that's different, but it was exciting as well, you know.
Yeah.
And say it was a ghost, to me it would be like, you're not coming in here, shut the door on you. That would be lovely. I wish I was that sensitive. I really, really do. You
Oh
know, but
wow.
it was one little thing. It's my experience, but you know,
Oh,
whether it's
hold on. Oh,
paranormal, who knows?
sorry, the dog was fidgeting.
Oh,
He has got his head on my knee at the moment, so yeah, he's feeling pretty sorry for himself. But yeah, he's got reason to,
bless
hasn't he?
him.
Bless him. Yeah, but it is amazing. Like I will never say anything is paranormal. I will
Mm,
not say that. You know, like when I do a live, I will say it as it is, and then if I'll sort of try and explain, and then hold on, you're right, mate. Yeah, but we're trying to explain things, and
mm,
I don't say it's paranormal. It's just that I can't explain it at that time.
yeah, of
I
course.
try and use all the reasoning I can.
Mm,
And why does a monitor go blue or go
mm,
red when it is designed to work that way?
mm.
And that's it, isn't it?
I mean, I remember when I had my pub and I'd let the cleaner, it's 7:30 in the morning, and the pub was over 300 years old. The cellar was medieval. It was on one of the original early streets of Bristol. So tremendous history, on the foundations. And I got back into bed because I think I'd had a bit of a hangover. And
What,
as I
running a
got
course? Never.
oh, and as I got into bed, my bunch of pub keys up, thrown against the wall. And because I got used to this unknown flatmate, once you got over your fear, it was like you were having an argument with something you couldn't see. And I remember saying, well, I ain't getting up. And I just put the quilt over my head,
Yeah,
but
I used
I
to talk to
accepted
mine as
it.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think my pub was about 1900s. It was on a main town road.
Mm,
And it's a former landlord. So basically, everyone loved this couple who ran the pub, and he'd been in the pub 20 years prior to me. And he used
yeah.
to go down the cellar, um, come back a bit more red faced every time he went down. He kept
Yeah.
having to go and check the stock. And
Yeah.
one day, he particularly liked Gold Label.
Mm.
So what he'd do, go down the cellar, drink a bottle of Gold Label, put the top back on, and his wife would go down, bring the crate up, and all the the bottles were empty because he'd drunk them all. But, and then one day, he actually died in the pub,
Yeah.
and I ended up sleeping in that bedroom when I was running the pub on my own.
Mm.
And after a while, by then, I was on my own. I was chatting to Albert quite a lot.
Mm.
We had a By then, I'd had 2 dogs react to something unknown,
Yeah.
and that was interesting. I'd done a clumsy, séance. Well, I didn't know what I was doing, but then, we asked for something, and then the door creaked, and a young lad, a regular, he just legged it out the pub, and we had some great times. But then what happened? "Hey, hello. Hey, been
Oh,
talking
bless
about
her.
you. Bless
Yeah.
you. That food you're eating looks lovely again." But yeah.
Do you know what?
And
Uh,
her bedrooms.
yeah.
How does she get those bedrooms?
It's every single time we went to a place in Tewkesbury, and she had this huge room, four-poster bed. Me and Lisa, back of the building, little room.
That's like me.
Couldn't hardly swing a cat. No, proper princess. That's her name, princess. And she had a paranormal experience in this room, and yet it wasn't supposed to be haunted. So it's
Fascinating.
so it serves her
Brilliant.
right. We should have swapped, you see?
That is all. It's brilliant. But yeah, like I been like the pyramids, and like I end up in a hotel. Like the
Mm.
one in Rugby, I was across in like stables. I just kind of feel like I'm in the shed, but in Rugby, at least I had electricity when no one else did. So
Yeah.
you've got
Yeah.
that anyway, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
bless.
welcome. And then at the last pyramid, I ended up once again in the building next door, which wasn't even that old. And it's just incredible that whenever I'm going
Mm.
to these places, I never end up in the actual building. I'm shoved somewhere out of the way.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I booked booking.com or what.
But going back to Lorien, I said to her today when we were saying goodbye, I'm so grateful for the friendship. Um, I couldn't write to save England. I'm not a writer. A talker, yes, I could talk for hours. Um, but that woman, her gift to sit and write and put you in the story, observing what's going on, and to make you cry was fantastic. And she can look at a building and she can write about it
Yeah.
and make you feel you know it inside out. And I take my hat off to her. I really, really do. Very, very gifted lady.
Yeah, to sort of actually paint a picture, like I did try and take up painting, but to actually see, because people don't see the detail, do they?
Mm,
You just go in, you've got a room, or has it got a coffee? Yeah, it's got a coffee sorted. Is it en
mm.
suite? Yeah, sorted. And that's it. And that's most people are after, isn't it? And to
She,
actually see and add
yeah,
to it and give it a personality,
she
it's
she
absolutely
wrote she wrote a sort of
oh,
a glimpse in time of the Jamaican Inn of a man coming in. She described the weather, and then this other chap left and everything. And you felt you were there with your tankard watching what was going on. And I
yeah.
cried. I absolutely broke my heart after because it was so moving, but it brought the place to life. If she can do that to half a dozen places, imagine what she can do with the rest of them.
Yeah, that's
It
incredible. Sorry, I keep
mm.
turning my mic off because my dog's snoring. So, but I've got to let him because he has had an operation today on his
Yeah.
eyes, so he's
Yeah.
feeling sorry for himself, and he's got his head and his paw on my knee. So, yeah,
Mm,
I've got to look after him tonight, bless him.
oh,
But yeah, that are some incredible locations, and you are finding them, aren't you? And
yeah.
you are opening them up to the
It
paranormal community.
well, this is it, it's for the good, but also we have to be honest, it has to be something that's genuine reports. I can't be involved with something that's fake, just because a building's old doesn't mean to say it's haunted.
Yeah, but
Um,
I see it differently.
mm,
I see that every single building,
mm,
or the land, say in a town centre, you've got the land, you've got the building. Well,
yeah,
somebody lived there. Something might have happened.
mm,
People laughed, people cried, they experienced things. I'm not necessarily saying someone died at the spot, but somebody might have liked being there for some reason.
yeah,
And to me, anything with what's had energy, what's had tears, what's had happiness and laughter
mm,
could potentially have people maybe going back there now. But
mm,
then also you've got places like East Drive. They've got the backstory. We're not going to, who knows? I have no idea, but yeah, we know what a lot of people think. But ultimately, you've got people going in there frequently. They might have their own attachments from other locations. They've got the family around them. So the odds of something's going to happen because you've taken it with you.
or over the years when you're doing the place a lot, do we subconsciously make ghosts? Like the Philip experiment, we don't know. Um, or sometimes when we're away, um,
Yeah.
we do a thing. We go away for a weekend, we're all building, and when it's certain group of people, things seem to happen, and it's fascinating to watch it. I mean, Woodchester, I was with a new couple who are doing the paranormal, And what they experienced was nothing, I think, associated with Woodchester Mansion. But it was a fascinating observation, and I really enjoyed it because it was different. Um, and it was more senses based, and watching the both of them react. Yeah, I really enjoyed it because it's nice to go out of your comfort zone.
He was just on the move. I was making sure that the table didn't go because everything's flying everywhere because he's got this cone on his head. So yeah, he's just coming round a bit and he's got this cone and
Oh,
it's not
bless
looking
him.
good, bless him. But yeah, the thing is, it's a massive one, so it's bigger than it ought to be fair.
Oh,
But hey ho, but he'll manage and we'll get him through this one as long as I can get through it. But yeah. But yeah, like when I'm at house now at Haunted Antiques, I'm kind of finding there's a seance room and family
mm.
members are now coming through. And
Oh,
like every
wow.
time you
Yeah.
go in there, it's the family members coming through. And
Mm,
it's getting incredible. So I don't know what's happened with the spirits, whether they decided, okay, let the family members come through there,
mm,
whether they sort of have an arrangement between themselves, or what can and the family members come through there, and everywhere else, they come through, and it's I don't know how it works.
It's really
It's
interesting
weird.
because, I've got friends that are mediums, and the wonderful Bev Turney, she's a
Yeah,
fantastic medium, and
and
we
she's
were at
doing
the
a lot as well.
oh, she's so gifted,
She
but
does
she
loads.
knows my skepticism as well, bless her, and we were at a private investigation at the Jamaican Inn in December, and we're in the lower restaurant, it's like 2 in the morning. And
Oh my
she's
God.
like, "Oh god, here it comes." And I go, "What?" She said, "It's your dad." She said, "Stan, you've got to do something." She doesn't believe me. Can you can you light this up over there? And then she said, "I beg your pardon." And I said, "Well, what happened?" She said, "He said he's not doing any of that shit." Now, that my dad's personality and character, that would have been him to a T. But
Wow.
she knows that I crave for me more proof, but I don't doubt her experience either, you
Yeah,
know? And it was very emotional because when we lose use loved ones, we want to believe that there's something. We want to believe that a loved one can come back and talk to us some way or somehow.
yeah,
Because grief, I never understood years ago why someone could grieve for 10, 20, 30 years. I get it now.
yeah.
But
That's
I
right.
think that if you've suffered a loss, it's important to keep the memory of that person alive by talking about them,
Yeah,
and
that's
relaying funny stories and is talking as if you just saw them yesterday.
yeah. But it
Who
is like you've
knows?
just seen them yesterday, and irrespective of when they passed, whether it was a year
Mm,
ago, whether it was 8 years ago, whatever, it doesn't make any difference, does it? It's just a longer period of time since you saw them, but you still got those strong memories from great days out and great times, haven't you? And
yeah,
they
and
will just
I
carry
mean,
on.
when I had a reading, a couple years after my dad had died, I hadn't put up on my Facebook, about mum being German and all that sort of thing. So I had a reading, and the person doing the reading said, "Oh, I've got, a father figure, blah blah blah." And then he said the thing that I thought, "Oh, there might be something in this." He said, "Why is he doing 40 towers? Don't mention the war." And that's what my dad would do all the time. He's go, "Shh, don't
Oh,
mention the
wow.
war. I think I got away with it once." And, all these things. So the next day I went to mum, and my mum is a Catholic. She doesn't believe once you're dead, that's it. I said,
Mm.
"I have a message from dad for you." And she said, "What did he say?" He said, "Don't rush. He's enjoying the peace and quiet." That would have been him. So
Yeah,
whether it was real or not, it was the comfort that was needed. And, though
yeah,
some people don't like mediums, they are there for a reason. And if they give comfort, what is the harm in it? You know,
That's
but
right. Yeah.
also you can meet. I mean, I had a reading by Barry John at the Para Meet, and that
Oh,
was amazing.
he is incredible. It's a friend. It is incredible. It really is. Yeah.
Well, you know, though I know him, as we do a lot of people, Facebook friends,
Yeah. That's
when you do these para meets, you get to chat to these people. Poor Goddard. Oh my God, that regression, the group regression with Kev saying I was a fat farmer with loads of kids. Like what? It
That's
was
funny.
brilliant. You
Wow.
know? But again, it's people coming together. And, you know, if we could do that more, whether it's a parame, a paracon, etc., regardless of your backgrounds, and getting
That's
to
it.
know each other and to understand each other, there would be perhaps less falling out, less bitching, stalking, and the unpleasant
Oh,
side you see of
stalking. Yeah.
Facebook
Dear
where
me.
people go out of their way to cause harm, to cause upset, you know?
Yeah.
It's
That's it.
sad that you've got that underbelly, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like it's fair, going out on Facebook and actively bullying people, things like that. You don't know what's going on in someone's personal life,
Mm. I mean,
and
I
you keep going on and on and on. And in
yeah.
the end, it's just really going to get to people, isn't it, sometimes?
I mean, I'm not going to mention the name because I'm not going to give the
Well,
person
no.
thing, but I was stalked, I was harassed, things I were connected with were written to, and I involved the police, and the police went to the person's home, you know, and I feel sorry for the person that their life is so sad and so consumed with regret and jealousy that they feel they have a right to upset other people to make them feel better. Because
Yeah,
really in life, if you can put a smile on a stranger's face, if you can pay a compliment to a stranger, you don't know what that person is going through. You might have saved a life. Be
that's
nice.
right. Yeah, it is important to be nice because, like, I had a great night the other night. I did a live feed, and then someone's moaning and having a go
Mhm,
about me. I know it's
mhm.
about me, and it's frequently about me as well. And I'm not being paranoid because I know it is.
Yeah.
I've even been hashtagged in things as well.
Mm.
And like, what the hell? Just get on, get out, and just do your own thing. And
And
it's just a really weird world, isn't it?
but it's also if someone's done well, be glad for them.
You
You
don't get
know?
that though, do you? You do not get people going, well done.
Yeah.
People don't do that.
You know, I will say there's Gemma Treadwin, McCornwell. She's part of the Jamaican Inn team. She is also part of Bodmin Paranormal Team. And I was chatting with her on the phone today. And whereas before, years ago, it was always Jamaica Inn, Bodmin, didn't talk, didn't interact. It was them and us type of thing.
Oh,
Now
right.
there's a new paranormal manager called Joe, amazing man. But it's down to Gemma, who absolutely loves both locations with such a passion that now not only have we done a collaboration, we have mutual respect. I mean, it's also as well, Joseph recently changed, he said, we don't hunt ghosts, we do an investigation, we
Oh,
respect our
yeah,
ghosts.
this hunt ghosts,
But
it's a bad phrase.
yeah, but it's
It was there,
also
wasn't it?
we're changing our outlook on how we view the spirits of our locations. You know,
Yeah,
we have to understand them. We have to they're not there for entertainment. They're there if they want to sit down with us and have a conversation, if they want
that's
to have a
right.
joke, if they have something on their mind. I mean, why can't spirits have a bad day same as we have a bad day and be a
That's
bit
right.
grumpy? But for
I think
me to see these two mammoth locations, promote each other, and promote heritage in Cornwall. That is a step forward. And it's thanks to Gemma and her wonderful work that she's done behind the scenes. That is what I call an unsung hero of the paranormal.
Yeah,
And there's
that's just
many of
wonderful,
them
isn't
out
it?
there.
Yeah, and it's a shame that more can't get together.
Mm,
You know, like if if there is some like society where people, I know there are societies, and a
mm.
lot of them are like science based or things like that. And yeah, and I would love to join one of those. You know, I'm intrigued. I'd like to read the papers to see what they get from a scientific perspective
Yeah, I
because
mean,
there's
I'm with ASSOP and I'm recently joined the SPR. I thought, the SPR a bit too intelligent for me. So I'm going down a new journey to seeing what they're all about and seeing
yeah,
if there's something that I fit in. Um, but again, whether you have a degree or not, if you have a passion for something, we all have something we do well at.
that's right.
And
Yeah.
it could be like Lisa, maths, amazing business percentages. Me, I work for accountants. I'm like, yeah, all right then.
You're
But
good on your spreadsheet, so
yeah, but I'm good with our
yeah.
clients because I'm a
But
people
you are
person.
good, yeah.
It's
And like,
but I can't write an article. I can't write a book. So people that do that, I admire them so much. The
but you'd
wonderful.
be great for the Jamaica Inn, for Warmley Clock Tower, and for other
Oh,
places as
thank you.
well. And
That's
you
so
put them
nice
on the
of
map.
you.
You
But
have put them on the
it's
map as
again,
well.
the most important thing is they're the stars. We are just the paranormal custodians. We will come and go. We have to make sure whoever takes over looks after them as much
Yeah,
as we hope we do, and to protect their interests. And how many other venues out there need a guardian, need a helper? And if we
yeah.
all did something like that, um, and I'm sure there's hundreds of people who are doing it that no one knows about, and we need to get those. Jenny from Shepton Mallet, she is her history knowledge, her paranormal knowledge, sorry. To me, she's the star of Shepton. That's why when we filmed for this pilot series, Somerset Supernatural, with Dr. Kate Sherrill, I wanted Jenny, and we got Jenny in because she is the face of Shepton Mallet. She's
Brilliant,
so
yeah.
enthusiastic about the place. She lives and dreams it, and it shows on
Fantastic.
camera.
Yeah,
Let's get those out so everyone sees what gems they are.
yeah, that's right. You know, Tanya Taylor, she's Matlock Pavilion.
Mm,
She looks after the paranormal side there. And she knows what's happened. You investigate. You go downstairs, and she's passionate about it. She's passionate about the
mm,
building. She's seen the struggle since for the last few years. That you got the rain coming and it's ruined the floor. They've stripped all the floor out. And
yeah.
now they started having bands on the stage and performances and things like that. And all of a sudden, it's coming together and
Oh,
they're still doing
fabulous.
paranormal there as well,
Mm,
and it is a fantastic place. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to Matlock Bath, but as a kid we
yes.
used to go there, and there's
Yeah.
just this building with a dome as you walk in,
It's
drive in,
I'm
and it's
sure
just
I
such a
I'm sure
place
I've taken mum there. There's a park there. Isn't there a memorial of these Czech soldiers that tried to assassinate Hitler?
that there's Matlock and Matlock Bath. So they are one after the other now. Matlock Bath is the one with the river flowing. It's like got amusement arcades and things. And then
No,
Matlock's more of shopping town.
I can't remember.
But
There's one I took mum, and
I don't know
I
which one.
never yeah, I never knew how amazing the again, is a hidden bit of history.
Yeah,
Just today, myself and Lisa were we were coming home, we're driving through Northampton, there's this huge chimney, and I said, "What's that?" She looked it up, and it's the youngest graded protected building in England because it's used to test lifts. And
Wow.
it's crazy. It's
Wow.
absolutely crazy. And then just before it, you saw the sausage cafe, and on there, slipper bath. I said, "That's a public bath." She looked it up, read the history, because when my mum came to Bristol in the 50s, they didn't have bathrooms where they were. They went to the public bath once a week to have a
Hey,
bath.
Wes.
There's where's
Oh,
too late. You're
right.
That's my mother.
She's done it loads, Wes. Oh, and it's so great to meet you a few weeks ago. Oh, that's incredible. It really was. And cheers to the shirt as well. So I've got a
Oh,
paranormal shirt from the
yeah.
shop, which is
Bless him.
absolutely awesome. Yeah, so I will be wearing that out and about. So yeah, I did wear it to the Robin Hood experience a couple of weeks ago. So
Mm.
yeah, you know, and oh, this is what it's about, isn't it? Meeting like-minded people, and yeah, it's just so incredible. But
It was, and,
yeah,
again, these get-togethers are so important to get to know people. As Neil said on his speech, we don't agree on lots of things, but we like each other and we debate and we don't fall out. And that's the beauty of it. And getting to know him as a person
yeah,
now, because twice I've met him, I have such admiration for the man that he is and what he's done. But,
it's
just on
incredible. Yeah,
Facebook, you don't know the personality.
you don't.
You know,
Apart from
get
David Bowie, he likes David Bowie. But yeah, you just post and that's it until you actually meet people.
yeah,
But a lot of the time you do sort of see people post, and you do get you do get a feel for them, so that when you meet them, they are
yeah.
more as you expect,
And,
and that's
none
incredible,
of
isn't it?
none of us are perfect. I've fallen out with people, I don't get involved in the he said, she said on Facebook.
Oh
I don't
God,
put up
no.
anything public.
Yeah.
Um, but none of us are perfect. We all have flaws in our characters and our personality, but all we can do is be the best that we can. And as I said to you before, I did a mindfulness course that Craig, our boss, had done, and it completely changes how you see other people and your perspective, and it's all about what can you do for the other person. And again, putting a smile, a nice comment. I talk to strangers all the time, and sometimes just for the reaction. Especially I might say to someone, "Oh, look at Lisa's got see-through knickers on, can you see that?" And things like this.
Oh my God, what are you
To put
like?
put a smile on someone's face.
Yeah, that's right. Because I don't know where I was once, and I saw this woman. Her hair was stunning, and so I said, "Oh yeah, your hair's stunning," and it just put.
Mm,
I don't do it often because it's a bit weird, but I don't know, and it makes a person's day, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Someone said to me, said, "Oh, you look stunning today." I said, I would have said, "Should have gone to Specsavers."
yeah. But people are incredible, aren't they? And yeah,
Very much so. But again, we're very lucky and having a circle of people like we say. I haven't seen Wes, because of COVID, and it was so lovely to catch up with him.
yeah,
And it was so
definitely.
nice for him to experience the Parameet and everyone there.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right.
But fair play, he came on his own, and the poor chap, we're just walking up to the door. He's in the taxi, so straight away he gets the Bristolian accent on him, and the taxi driver, I think, was from Bristol, so we spoke in Bristolian just to confuse him.
That's funny. But yeah, it was incredible, and
Mm.
yeah. But you just want to sort of do more, don't you? We've got the next parameet as well, and just sitting around a bar, socialising as well, and just getting to know people more.
It was such an honour to be asked to talk at the Parameet South, and I'm talking again at ASSOP this year, which is like, wow, what are they having
Wow.
me for?
Um,
And I'm talking at Bodmin's Paracon, and it's crazy. And you think, why do you want me for? You know, I'm no good. I'm no good at all this. But it's such an honor. And then the other side of me goes, no, do it. Just be yourself. And I was at ASSOP last year. You know,
oh,
on stage after all these academics, and I just said, I just want to tell you, I went to Hartcliffe School for elite young ladies where we were taught to smoke and bunk off school. So bear with me.
yeah, that's it. It is hard when, like, I've interviewed people who are academics, and wow, it is hard. You do get nervous.
No,
You
I
know,
don't. I, d-
I do. It's
I
like,
just think, well, here we go, in for a penny, in for a pound.
well, this is it. Like, I'm scared of sort of asking something really stupid, like,
Mm.
you know, I did all right with education, but then when you speak to somebody and like, oh dear, you just
Yeah,
like, but you know, I don't change. I say what I say, and that's that, isn't it?
it is.
But
Like it's, you know, one of the most amazing experiences was during COVID. Myself and I always call Kate Sherelle. It's not as Cheryl, but I always say to her, it sounds so much better, Dr. Kate Sherelle, you know. And I met her when we were interviewing her for a documentary about an unjust hanging. John Horwood, who was hung in 1821.
I
Um,
don't know how you remember this.
I know, I love
You
it.
just you just know it, like, you
I
know,
know. It's sad.
unforgivable.
It's
No,
sad.
it's good. It's great how your mind works.
Yeah, it's just because, you know, of doing that. So COVID struck and it went on hold. And Mary Halliwell, who was a descendant who buried the bones, 170 years to the day the noose dropped the body into the grave with his father. Before she died, she maybe promised to get a pardon for him. So just after Christmas, we were chatting, myself and Kate and Chris and Matt from Q Studios, and we're going to bring it back. But Kate's going to be the presenter. So she's going to, you know, we're going to sort of twist it around a bit. But it also means then she can write an academic paper, do the talks with academia, and I will try, because Richard Felix wants to get involved, to try and get
Oh,
a pardon
yes.
because Professor Smith, who who handed the skull of the victim, Eliza Balsam, said she did not die of the stone being thrown. She died of the trepanning from Dr. Smith, the surgeon at the Bristol Infirmary.
Wow.
And he was the chief prosecution witness. So he ended up with a body of a young girl and a just turned 18-year-old lad who he dissected twice, you know, on a Monday. So the poor lad was hung on the Friday. The body wasn't really, you know, there's not cold storage as we know it.
Oh,
So
God,
by the
no.
Monday, he
Bit grim.
dissected. So they were, you know, doing sort of charges to make the hands move and everything. Then the students dissected what was left of the body on the Tuesday, so it must have been smelling quite bad. The skin from the back was taken off and tanned, so I know all about proper tanning, and
Wow.
made into what is the book of skin that still survives today from John Horwood. So if you
Didn't a
could,
museum have an issue with having a book of skin, and they wanted to remove it because of
well,
the new
so
world?
so Mary Halliwell, technically, the book of skin belonged to her, but it was in one of the museums, the M Shed in Bristol, and she said, "I think," because people are saying you should bury it as well. She said, "No, it's part of history."
Yeah, that's
So
it. That's
that
right.
is a testament to the cruelty of that time. That's why
That's right.
she wanted it left there. But if we can get a pardon once this documentary comes out, at the moment, you know, you think it's April, it's trying to find that. No, it's May. It's May. What am I about? It was May, isn't it?
We're
Yeah.
nearly
No.
May. Nearly
Well,
May, not quite.
nearly May. Um,
Nearly May.
it'll take us about 2 or 3 months to get it all sorted. Then it's got to be edited, and then hopefully wherever it goes. But it
Wow.
would be exciting to again change history,
Yeah.
because
Great.
I know of some witches in Scotland that had, I think I had a pardon as well. So the time is right to readdress, but also to show the cruelty of the upper classes to the common folk, because
Yeah.
Dr. Smith was actually a grave robber.
Oh wow.
But because he was connected, he
Yeah.
is, when he died, thousands lined the streets for his burial procession. That
Mm.
man to me was evil, Dr. Smith. But wait and see what happens when it comes out, because Matt, who's done the graphics before, is very, very clever.
Yeah. That. Sorry, he's woke up again. He's not doing well. Well, lie down. But yeah, bless him. I don't know. He's done well though. He's just a bit tired, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So my dog's had an operation today, and he's got a cane over his head, so it's not going down well.
Oh, oh.
And I think every time he wakes up, he's realizing it's there, and it's like, oh God, what's going on? Yeah, I'll be sleeping downstairs with him, I think, tonight, because I
Yeah.
don't think I can get him upstairs. It's going to be too hard work, isn't it? To be fair, but yeah, you do these things. But yeah, but any more plans then? Obviously, any
Just,
locations up and coming? Where you going?
yeah, the I'm hoping if we get the commission for this pilot, I'm already looking round Somerset. It's not just about famous, it's looking for unknown locations of, that have paranormal reports, something that would help perhaps put them on the map,
Yeah,
So,
that's useful.
it's trying to be as ethical while you're doing a TV show.
Yeah,
Um, But, John Shackleton, the filmmaker, is such a clever person. He's having, for one of the opening, bits is all in edit now. He's having a map of Somerset hand sewn with some of the places we've investigated. And,
awesome.
you know, is what you call a creative. He's very, very creative, very, very clever. So
Yeah,
when we did this castle, he said, right, because I was always behind the camera, and for that one, he said, right, you can go in front, and I want you to stand there. And when Kev Kerr and Rachel and Craig and they walked in, I stood there on the steps and I said, "Welcome to Walton Castle," being all melodramatic, etc. But it was nice to camp it up a bit.
yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, you have been to some incredible locations. Have you done Scotland? You've been to,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I've driven up there twice. So the Mary Queen's Close twice, Niddy Vaults, and I'm hoping to do a huge mansion maybe next year or the next year after. I want to do a French chateau as well, where we're talking about doing that
Wow.
next year. Then we're talking about perhaps going back to Chinham and hiring that again. Um, but it's finding the time.
Isn't it? That's it. When you work as well, and you
But
sort of only get
but
52
also,
weekends a year.
yeah, and when you're self-employed, you don't get paid holidays.
Well, oh gosh, right, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we were,
whereas
yes, because the late Alan Parry, bless him, organised that, and it was, the poor man, left. Well, he unfortunately died of bowel cancer, and I went to
no,
see him in the hospice with Colin the day before he died, and
oh,
he
yeah.
said to me, "This is my sentence I will say to you to prove that there's, life after death," and I'm still waiting.
Oh,
Still
okay.
waiting for that sentence.
I think that is a good one. If you do sort of have a password, or
Yeah.
there is a sentence, or there is something like my sister. My sister I think, is more mediumistic than me, and she kind of
Mm,
denies it. And yet, like, she wants a medium. Like, I, when oh god, when I lost mum and dad, I was sort of I was adamant I was trying to bring mum to her,
mm,
to try and like I asked a medium. I asked Barry John actually, and I
mm,
says, "Well, is there any way I can get?" Because he was communicating with my mum, and I said, "Is
mm.
there any way that you can get me to get her to come through to my sister?"
Yeah.
And he said, "On a special occasion." So it was Christmas Day, no, Christmas Eve, and that's when traditionally mum and dad used to go there to my
Mm,
sisters, and me. And obviously mum and dad weren't there because they both passed. And
mm,
I sort of thought, well, mum, if you're here, can you do something? And I got a bag in front of me and it fell over at that moment.
oh,
And my sister is like, well, it just fell over. But all she needs is a medium to say her nickname or something like that.
mm,
Give something really specific. And that's
mm,
it, isn't it? And I think you just need that phrase or the words, or just something, and then beyond a doubt, don't you? Even the most skeptic people.
mm,
And yeah, it's fascinating. And it's like when Barry does do his readings, he might get something very silly, and he'll say
mm.
it, and they go, "Yeah, that person said that." And it doesn't have to make sense to the medium, does it? Because
Yeah,
it
like I said, he's not only is a really nice chap, and I love his partner as well, but
oh gosh, yeah.
his reading was very, very good. And Lisa
Brilliant.
had one done, and yeah, she was actually taken aback by it. But again, getting together on these things. To me, I'd rather do something like that than go abroad and lie on a beach. I like to go and stay at places. I like to
Yeah,
feel the age of them, experience it. I
that's
just don't
right.
tell
Yeah.
my husband how much I spend doing it.
Yeah. It's, quite incredible, isn't it?
And his
You know, but
reading was
but
really
then
good.
again, you can go around Nottingham. I know you don't drink, but, people can spend 80 quid drinking. What do you
Mm,
get out of it? You
yeah,
spend probably a bit more on a weekend away, and what do you get out of it? Loads of memories. And
exactly.
that's it, isn't it? And that is what life is about. It's about making decent memories, get away from the keyboards, get away from the computer, meet
Yeah.
like-minded people, friends, whatever, and just go
Mm,
and have brilliant experiences.
mm.
And that's what it is, or your family or
And
something like that. Just get
it's
out and do things.
it's like the lovely Kev Kerr.
Oh, it's lovely,
I
yeah.
I came across him 10 years ago by accident. I
Yeah.
messaged him, and that poor man, he hasn't got rid of me since. But he was so logical, so clever being an engineer. I found his explanations of things that I didn't understand enlightening, but also he explained it in a way that I got the point. And,
Wow.
since then, um, he's always been what I call my guru, even though, he's young
Yeah.
enough to be my son. But he has a heart of gold.
Yeah,
And
it
his
is great.
speech at the Parameet, because he's this ultra skeptical, intelligent man, and suddenly he's had the most amazing experiences. It's opened him up, and his speech was so raw and so honest
Wow.
as
I'm
well.
sorry I missed that. Yeah.
For us that know him, we were sat there like, "Is that Kev?"
Gosh.
But it was one of the best speeches I've ever heard because of the honesty
Wow.
behind it. And
Yeah.
he bared his soul to a lot of strangers.
Wow.
Um, and the journey he's on, I think he's going to go so, so far. Really
That's
so.
wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause, I'm sorry I missed that because, I was working, but
Mm,
yeah, but, the conversations we have, and it was great, it was great at the
mm,
Parameet, and we had an natter, didn't we? And that was that. And you learn
Yeah.
new things. And yeah, he did sort of say like he did become more open, and is seeing things differently from when he was the skeptic
Yeah.
who
Keyboard
and
warrior.
but like me as well, like I used to go on, let's call them, they were called ghost hunts then.
Mm.
It's a term, isn't it? It's not a particularly
Yeah.
good one, but that's what they called them in those days. You did it, you went, you get a flashing light, you get this, and that by the night. And it didn't necessarily mean anything was around. But then once something happens to you personally, where
Mm.
this little girl I felt jumped in me, and my head was trying to get to my mouth to say, get it out of me, which
Mm.
is one hell of a crazy thing. And there were witnesses at the time who was still speak to, how they
Mm.
didn't think I was being stupid, because I was also doing hokey cokey while we're all holding hands,
Mm.
which doesn't go down well, does it? Where you get this person acting a complete idiot during a vigil, but and it was weird, then I was scared to death of it coming home with me. And
Mm.
after that, that's what's got me into it. But once your eyes are open to that, okay, I can't deny
Mm.
this anymore, things change massively.
Yeah.
It really does. Once you have this, like my friend, she goes out and she's seeing things, but it's not. She just wants to get something just to take her over that line, where
Mm.
beyond reasonable doubt that something else going on.
But
And
it's all fascinating, and
oh, isn't it?
also you grow over the years in the paranormal, because I was an idiot when I first started, and you learn by your mistakes, and you learn that you are not the one with all the answers, and you have to listen to everyone. You have to understand their point of view for yourself to grow with experience,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
not to be arrogant. And it's a
Yeah,
very hard thing, because we all get arrogant in our own way. And then sometimes it takes a close friend to say, actually, you're being a little bit of a diva there. And you're like, oh God, am I all right?
it's
Okay. And that takes a great friendship to do that. And we all do that to each other.
English.
I had I had one from Kev the other day on the message. Get over it. Get over. And I was like, yeah, I've had a kick up the backside. Okay,
God bless
point
you.
taken. Yeah, and
Amazing.
it's life, and find joy in every day. Find joy in the little things. We can't have everything in life, you know?
Yeah, it's like Andy, no one has all the answers, we're still
Mm.
learning. And you get ideas, you think like, oh my gosh, like the other night, Dave Ace Thorpe, Kathy Smith's watching as well, Christine and Martin, and that was all of us. And we had some crazy conversations. Not a
Mm.
lot was happening, but then, like I'm saying, like, you go and sort of say, oh, can you go near this black box? Well, what
Mm.
can they see?
Mm.
Now, I've been on investigations and they see us as shadow people. And we can
Mm.
see shadow people. Sometimes people have seen them. So, okay, if that's the case, how the hell can they see these flashing lights?
Mm.
What the hell? How? I don't get it, and this is the thing, isn't it? What are
Yeah.
they see? You're trying to describe something and like, well, huh? What can they see if they can't see you? And you're in a
Mm.
different time period technically than them, or are you? Or it's mind blowing, isn't it?
I can't get my head around the last few years, at the Jamaican Inn, all the new extensions, etc., how a ghost can sit in a modern chair with his elbow on a modern table, which someone like the lovely Rachel Haywood saw, and also the new extension of bedrooms. How can a ghost walk on a level that didn't exist? How can it knock on a door that didn't exist? Um, how can you have footsteps on a landing that didn't exist? Um, So, if ghosts are real, are they seeing this building in modern times? And what is their perception of what they're seeing? What do they think of it
Yeah.
all? What do they think of women wearing trousers?
Well, yeah, there's that.
You know, of
Yeah,
women now having rights that, even 60, 80 years ago wouldn't have, equal pay up to a point, but also that I'm the boss of my marriage with my 6 foot, near enough 5 inch husband. He does what he's told. It took 29 years, but got him well trained. But
yeah,
life was so different then,
that's
you
right.
know?
And they wouldn't listen to women, would they? And this
You
is the
know,
thing, the
unless
women weren't allowed to speak, or
unless you were someone of independent means. When you married your husband, your fortune, whatever, went to your husband to control. A woman
wow,
wasn't allowed to testify against her husband.
mad, isn't it?
So rape in the marriage was only made illegal in the 20th century.
Wow.
So it's like,
Yeah,
crikey.
mm,
So when we talk or like try to, converse, we have to understand the mindset of men in a certain time period where someone might say, "Oh, they're a bit aggressive." They're not. That's probably their way of that time. And also our
that's
class
true.
system, you know, um, the
Yeah, we
son.
wouldn't speak to some of those, would we? Not the lords, so they wouldn't want to speak to us,
Well, no,
commoners.
because, again, how we greeted each other. Um,
Yeah,
it's like the Queen, when she was alive, you did not say hello to her first. She said
no,
hello, you said Your Majesty, then you said
yeah,
ma'am. So when you have a working class lad like the John Horwood, he if he tried to talk and say the surgeon or the judge at his trial, which was held in the Star Pub in Bedminster in Bristol,
no,
um, if the judge was, "No, you're not talking," that's it. He wouldn't have a say in it because of his background, his class.
wow,
How many miscarriages of justice occurred?
yeah,
Because the word of a gentleman was more important than a word of a working class person.
that's yeah.
So we need to adapt that in our paranormal investigation. I'm doing an experiment with different languages at the moment.
Oh, that's
Um,
brilliant.
so, there's like you say, when we do the normal thing, we've got to sort of put the rule box out. And also, I was
Yeah,
with
try
a
something
couple that are new the weekend, and they opened my eyes again to a different way. So just because someone's entered the field doesn't mean to say you know everything. The newbies can teach you a lot as well.
well, that's it, because we get into a script, and that's a conversation we had on Saturday.
Yeah,
You get into
yeah,
a script, and you've got this script from other people,
yeah.
subconsciously or whatever, and you go on and think, "Oh, yeah, okay," and that happens.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, we've got to break this conversation now.
I know,
We've
look at the
slightly
time.
overrun. We're slightly overrun. Sorry, Dark Mirror Show is now on Things Network. But thanks everyone for listening. Look after yourselves. Try and say something positive to people. Make a point
Mhm.
this week of saying something positive to somebody, because things are horrible at the moment for a lot of people. And the weather here in the UK is horrendous. So we all need cheering up, really, don't we? But
Yes.
be kind, and
If you can't be kind, say nothing.
that's it, definitely. But take care, everyone. Thanks for your comments. Have a good week. Bye. Thank you.